Shalom. I'd like to start out by giving all glory, praise, and honor to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of the great millstone. Shalom to the elect of Israel. This is the Mayim in Atlanta, and I've got this article pulled up from the website endtimeheadlines.org. And this particular article came out December 22nd, 2025. And it says, why has China loaded over 100 nuclear ICBMs into silos? And the world is questioning, why? Why are they doing this? But the Lord let us know why they would be doing this. And it's a commandment that the Lord has given unto the heathen. And Lord willing, we get into that. But it says a draft Pentagon report reveals that China has likely loaded more than 100 solid-fueled DF-31 intercontinental ballistic missiles, ICBMs in parentheses, into 3 silo fields near its border with Mongolia. This marks a significant step in Beijing's rapid nuclear modernization. So they are bringing their military and their nuclear program up to modern standards. It says the DF-31, known as the Dongfang or East Wind, and the Lord said he's going to send a destroying wind onto this nation of Babylon. So that's an appropriate name there. It says NATO designation CSS-10 is a 3-stage solid-fueled missile first deployed in 2006. It has variants including DF-31, DF-31A, and DF-31AG with an estimated range of 4,350 to 7,270 miles and capable of carrying a single 500-kilogram warhead yielding 200 to 300 kilotons. That's a lot because the atomic bomb that was dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, one of them was 12 grams and the other one was 20, or one of them was 12 kilotons and the other was 20 kilotons. So that is, if it yields 200 kilotons, that 20, when it's 10 times. 10 times the size of what was dropped on of the bigger bomb. So this is huge. 500 kilogram warhead yielding 200 to 300 kilotons. But it says the report assesses China's nuclear warhead stockpile at just over 600 in 2024 with 276 intercontinental range, but projects over 1,000 projects over 1,000 by 2030 despite a slower recent production rate, in which, Lord willing, we're not here to 2030. Lord willing, these missiles get launched off well before then. But until then, keep building, China, which the Chinese go back to the ancient Moabites, and they have a good part to play coming up here. It says the bulletin of the atomic scientist notes that over the past 5 years, China has significantly expanded its ongoing nuclear modernization program by fielding more types and greater numbers of nuclear weapons than ever before. So they're building up their arsenal, they're stockpiling, and because they know, everybody knows at this point, that we're coming into a time of war. We're already in that time of war, and you need to prepare. It's a preparation before going to battle is a big part of war, big part of winning wars. Says it adds, analyzing and estimating China's nuclear forces is a challenging endeavor, particularly given the relative lack of state originating data and the tight control of messaging surrounding the country's nuclear arsenal and doctrine. Further, Like most other nuclear armed states, China has never publicly disclosed the size of its nuclear arsenal or much of the infrastructure that supports it, which why would they? They're enemies. It says this degree of relative opacity, seen through, makes China's, or not seen through basically, makes China's nuclear arsenal difficult to quantify, particularly given that it's likely the fastest growing arsenal in the world. The draft report indicates China shows no interest in arms control talks, contrasting U.S. efforts, most likely. But yeah, China is stockpiling weapons into silos because there's a great war to fight. And this is what's coming. Isaiah 9 and 5. It says, for every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood. Because every war, up until this coming nuclear war, has been very intimate. Blood touching blood. Swords, you've had swords and spears. You had to get really close to take out somebody with a sword or with a war hammer or with a battle axe. And then bows and arrows and spears allow you to get a little further away. Then guns allowed you to get further away than that. And now you've got drone warfare and you have missiles launching and these airstrikes that you could do. And it's going to get all the way until nukes are fired, intercontinental ballistic missiles. It was showing you the range, which like 4,000 to 7,000. I forgot if it was kilometers or miles, but nonetheless, you could kill from afar when everything used to be very intimate to go to war, very close together, very bloody. But now you can kill with a button. You can war with just a button. But it says, for every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood, but this shall be with burning and fuel of fire, because we are going to have a nuclear war. World War III will be a nuclear war, and it will be a basically a nuclear. I don't want to say that word actually, but it's gonna be all out nuclear war. America, Babylon the Great, will be absolutely destroyed. The land of Israel will be destroyed but built back up. America will just be an example of how not to be. And then other places around the earth are going to get touched with nukes. I even believe China will be on the receiving end of some nuclear fire. I'm saying that based on Jeremiah 48, but not saying for sure. We don't know where the others will land, but we do know that America, Babylon the Great, will be taken out in nuclear fire, and that nobody will ever live here ever again, because it's going to be a great example of how not to be. Great example of where wickedness dwelt. And then this also extends to the Edomites, because Edom and Babylon the Great, or Virgin Daughter of Babylon, their destinies are intertwined. And so once that nuclear war happens, it's going to be the end of Esau's world, end of his precious Babylon, in which they still have to pay the price of captivity. They're going to have to build up the next world, the kingdom of heaven. But after they've built it up, after that 1,000-year reign, they're going to be done away with as an example of how not to be, just like Babylon. Which says, for every battle of the warriors with confused noise and garments rolled in blood, but this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. This is going to be an all-out nuclear war. Because this is the day it's going to burn as an oven. It says here in Malachi 4 and 1. For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven. Ovens get really, really hot. Think of like a pizza oven or ancient stone oven. They get extremely hot. But the Lord's going to burn up everybody just like that. These are the words he's God, this is the vision that is to come. This nuclear war that is coming. It says, and all the proud, yet and all that do wickedly shall be stubble. And that's the proud of every nation. Everybody that's proud, the Lord is going to humble you via fire, via this second death. And this fire comes from both the nukes, and then there's concentrated fire that's going to come from Yahweh's chariots as well. And it's going to leave them all as stubble. It says, in the day that cometh, and the day that cometh shall burn them up, saith the Lord of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch. This is going to completely end Esau's rulership, and it's going to be the start of them being completely taken off of this planet. All of them, every one of them. There'll be neither son nor nephew left among them. This is their end that is coming. And this marks the end of the time of the Gentiles as well. It's Joel 3 in verse 9, because I told you that it was a commandment for the heathen to start getting ready for World War III, for them to go down into the valley of Jehoshaphat. And so they are preparing war. The Lord's commanded it. Joel 3 and 9, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare war. Wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. China or Moab, who are Gentiles, natural Gentiles, are preparing war. And I'm not saying all of everybody that looks like a so-called Chinese person is a Moabite, because we know that Israel was scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. And the Lord said that he was hiding a remnant, a group of outcasts amongst Moab. So there are Israelites amongst the Moabites. But for the most part, those are Gentiles, the ones that don't go back to an Israelite via their father's seed line. The others are, or unless they go back to another nation as well, because there's also a bunch of Edomites mixed in amongst them that look like Chinese people, but they really go back to Edom. But for the most part, those people over there are Moabites. Those are Gentiles. And the Lord is giving them commandments. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare war. Wake up the mighty men. So the mighty men of Moab are waking up. It says, let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. This is why they're stockpiling weaponry. This is why they're trying to modernize their nuclear program, and why they're building their arsenals. The Lord told them, prepare war. Prepare war. Verse 10 says, not bleat, but beat. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. So this is metaphor for putting your resources, which you could have been putting into your agriculture, into your infrastructure in China and the land of Moab. Put that into your military programs. Put that into building up your nuclear arsenal, modernizing it. Put that into the human capital that you have. Make them better soldiers. Give them, I just saw one with, it was showing Chinese soldiers with exoskeleton suits, and it was allowing them to carry way more ammo and walk way further and these different things. But they're adding it to the human capital as well, because that's who pushes the buttons. That's who pulls the triggers. You're humans. So they're putting it into every bit of war, in every aspect of it. They're putting it into their espionage program. You always hear about Chinese spies over here. And it's not just for China. It's for all around the world. The other nations are building up their programs as well. You even saw that the EU is talking about bringing back the draft and having people getting ready for that, getting ready to volunteer their lives to go lay down in the valley of Jehoshaphat. because these folks ain't coming back, especially Babylonian military members. Just a chapter behind this, it says his stink's going to come up because he's done great things. America's going to get their asses kicked over there in the Middle East, and they're going to get their asses kicked over here in Babylon the Great. This is the time of Esau's fall, and these other nations are preparing to take him down. Yahushua is preparing to take him down as well. He's ready. He's waiting for Yahweh to give the word to go back and take his jewels up. And so, Lord willing, that was edifying. I'd like to give all glory, praise, and honor to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakha, Kwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of the great millstone. Shalom to the elect of Israel. Shalom.